Where's my mouse?
If I ate enough, just drink a little. Already.
I said originally I was gonna chill because it's been a rough weekend. But I said, you know what, I'm gonna spike this just a little bit.
That's all more reason to drink if it's been a rough weekend.
It's all more reason to sleep. I am exhausted.
Man.
Everything's set up now. Let me just get my YouTube up. Okay, we should be ready to go. All right, y'all, here we go. Why did they switch this over? So, okay. Well, we'll deal. Okay. Welcome to Boys and Brunch. This is the show where we expose everything going down on the timeline. And today we are talking about the fight between Monique and Candiace on the Real Housewives of Potomac. The beef between Raye and Brat that was aired on Cocktails with Queens. This rocky relationship rumor with Niecy, Nash, and Jessica Betts. And finally, we return to the land of Jeffree Star, who claimed that his now ex-boyfriend stole some of his stuff. So I'm Jarrod D. King, and I am joined by co-hosts Brandon Harris-Williams and Marcus Haynes.
Hey.
And today we have a special guest who's a good friend of mine and a travel junkie who can help you have the best trip ever, Shauna Thomas. Welcome. How are you?
Good.
Good to have you. So Shauna, what can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Can you introduce us?
Sure. Shauna, I have a travel business called Take Care Travel. Not doing a whole lot right now, as you can imagine, but I've started, booking for 2021, kind of looking out that way, customized itineraries and, just consulting and booking.
Awesome. Okay, cool. And what is how have you handled not being able to travel? Because I know that that's your thing.
So I did start back.
Did you?
A little bit. So I made a rule. I won't go. Well, I'm in Denver. There's nothing to do here. Not really. It's like so I made a rule. I won't go anywhere where I'm on a plane over 2 hours. I wear my mask. I do the whole thing. Yeah. So that's kind of been my thing. I only started like 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Cool. So what are you drinking today? What's your drink of choice?
I ran out of champagne, so this morning I have a little fancy screwdriver.
Okay, look at you.
Strawberries in there, ain't it? Okay.
Yeah, come on, fans.
My drinks because it melts down and waters it down. You got to do frozen fruit.
That's good to note. That's good to know.
Let me find out.
So, Marcus, what are you drinking today?
So, originally I was going to be chill and I just had me some juice, but I decided just to throw some vodka in there. So, I guess a makeshift screwdriver. It's not orange juice, but
that's good. And what's new? Because I know that we were doing the Multiverse Con. I was on a couple of panels there. So, how was that going? And what else is going on?
That's definitely going. That's definitely going. It's been a lot of. I have become more intimately familiar with Zoom than I ever thought I would be in my life. So I've been doing a whole lot of those, but I'm excited. I think this is going to be a fun convention. So just the kind of final preparation and stuff, getting ready for that for weekend after next.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, and if you share it online, I will retweet it and everything. Just let me know. I'll let the people know where to go and where to find it. It's basically, from my understanding, it's a creative like convention. It's kind of like almost like a Comic-Con, but
cool.
for authors. And are there any other types of creators that are there?
Authors, gamers. Usually we would have cosplayers, but it's not in person, so that's kind of limited. Artists. I don't know if I said that, but yeah. So pretty much a bunch of creators, kind of in the Comic-Con, like fantasy, science fiction, horror type space.
Okay, awesome. Brandon, let's jump to you. What's in your glass today?
Just a rum and coke in my coffee mug.
I see, and I was so surprised that you brought the guns out today. So
Oh,
congrats.
Wow. Not even. Not
It looked
even.
nice. It looked nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
So is there anything new? What's going on with you? Let's get a quick update.
I started a part-time job yesterday, just trying to get a little bit of extra money, save up some stuff or do whatever. I don't think anything else, nothing else really exciting. Work
Okay.
is still work. I'm still in the office. So there's that. But yeah.
Cool. So I guess for my little update, I bought a Pinot Grigio today. So I'm trying that out. And well, it tastes pretty good. And then I guess my personal update, aside from doing the multiverse con stuff, I haven't really been doing much, and I've just been chilling for this week, and so I'm quite happy with that.
Mhm.
So to our viewers, if at any point you hear something you like, please heart it up, give us a like. I will be watching the comments and doing my best to interact with you and shout you out. And we are now only on Periscope and YouTube. I haven't cut out Facebook and Twitch. There's just too much going on. Uh, so we are going to move into our first topic. And let me do a quick intro here. So this past episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac got heated in the first few minutes, showcasing a fight that got everyone talking. Monique Samuels tried to de-wig Candiace Dillard and got a few slaps in while getting a glass of wine thrown in her face. When it was first teased, many were on Monique's side, assuming Candiace's mouth rightfully got her into trouble. But when the show aired, a lot of people's tunes changed. So I want to start because I know, like, Brandon, me and you have been going back and forth about this online a lot. So I have to start this with you, and I just want to know, well, basically, whose side are you on in this fight?
Lord have mercy.
And what do you think about it too? Like, what are your thoughts?
I want to also, like, I guess clarify a couple of things as well. So like, this was filmed like last October, I believe. And so originally the season was supposed to start like in May, but it was postponed to COVID, I guess. So Bravo would have enough programming, I guess, for the rest of the year or whatever. So it's like we've been anticipating this for like a whole year almost, because that's when the news first came out when it filmed that there was a fight. And so for like a year, I've been like, oh, Team Monique, like that's my girl. Like I ride with her. Candiace was doing the most last season. She was like overstepping and just completely like out of line, like no boundaries or whatever. So I was like, clearly Candiace in the wrong, absolutely. And then the trailer comes out. It's like, yep, it's Candiace. She's like, you want me to, you gonna drag me? Like egging her on. And then the season starts. And I think over the course of the season, Monique has had issues with Candiace that she hasn't like fully addressed with her. And so for me watching it, I think Candiace in her mind was like, I'm not, like, this girl doesn't like me. And so we're not going to get on the right path, or not right now or whatever. So it's cool. And so somebody like asked them, what's the issue with y'all? Thought y'all were cool. And then they kind of started going back and forth or whatever. I do think Candiace kind of egged the situation on, but I don't think that in that moment that she warranted getting beat up, or, you know, like, I don't think it, maybe a few more lines it could have gotten physical, but it wasn't there yet for me. So
All
Monique
right.
was wrong. I'm still Team Monique because she's my girl, but she was wrong.
Okay. All right. So Shauna, you've seen the fight as well. Do you watch the show as well?
I don't. I keep up with it, even though I don't give them my views, but I keep up with it in the blogs.
Gotcha. Okay. So do you have like a side, or do you have like, what's your opinion on this fight?
So the only issue I have with it is that a fight is being made a big deal. I've seen bigger fights. I mean, it's unfortunate, but what I'm not crazy about is suddenly it's so scandalous when it's Black women, like only Black
That
women
part.
fight. But no. So definitely Team Monique, like I've been there, like it's going to keep going and keep going. And, you know, it's only but so much talking I could do. But this isn't like a Black woman thing, like everybody fights. So I
Yeah.
didn't like the hood rat and all of that
Yes.
commentary around it.
Right. No, I didn't like that either. But I and I think you make a good point, because there have been, physical altercations on even some of the other Housewives
All of them.
shows. So, right.
In the very last one.
Because they've all been on like 10, 15 years at this point. Everybody's fought.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even I was thinking like Beverly Hills, but even Beverly Hills, because slightly. I mean, they went crazy in the restaurant. Like everybody knows that scene. But then Brandy slapped Lisa Vanderpump. So anyway, I'm going off on a tangent.
But just everybody's gotten physical, not just the Black women. So yeah.
Right, but it's just funny how it becomes this big thing when it's on a Black show versus then it becomes a conversation. And now this next episode, we have these women having a big conversation about fighting and what that means for.
And I hate that because it's like the whole show is messy. So it's not just all of a sudden we need to be held to a standard when we've gotten physical. When y'all have been messy for 5 seasons, like, where were we uplifting and upholding Black women then? Why is it now an issue?
Yeah. Marcus, what are you thinking? Because I want to bring you into this conversation because I know you don't watch Housewives, but I know we had to find the fight for you to see it. So what are you thinking?
So like me coming into it, like just watching and then like watching the actual fight, I will say that Monique did kind of like go above and beyond, but at the same time I get it because I'm the type of person to where the stuff that you say really says a lot about your personality. And Candiace's whole thing where she immediately jumped into the ghetto hood rat, that tells me that that ain't the first time she's thought that ain't the first time she's given off that energy. Mm-hmm. So even though in that moment it might not have been like, Candiace might not have done enough to warrant getting, her wig snatched in that exact moment. But I know she has done enough to earn it by that point in time, just from the way that she reacted to it. So just from what I've seen, yeah, Monique did her right. She deserved it.
Okay, so and I had to change my opinion a little bit because I started on Team Monique when everybody was watching, and then I gradually kind of came to the middle, and I was like, maybe they're both wrong. But now that I watched it back like 2 days ago, and I was like, she deserved all of that. She deserved it because my thing is the episode prior to the previous episodes, they broke up the fight between the 2 episodes. So you had the end of one episode where Candiace was, she put her hand all over her face. It wasn't even like one of these where you're both like close to each other and she's just, she like reached across the table and did one of these. And I'm just like, exactly. That's provoking. What are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if you're testing, like that to me means I'm ready to fight you if you want to go.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And she was not ready.
No. I feel yeah. Go ahead.
I think I'm a little glad that the table was there in between them because Monique was ready.
Yeah, she was. Sis ran outside, chasing her down in the car.
Oh my God. But can we talk about that? Because that's like, which is jumping ahead a bit, but like part of tonight's episode, they're talking to her like, you don't have any remorse. Like you said you blacked out, but then you were still cognizant, whatever, like when you ran after her. But it's like, but the moment is still going on. So even if I'm not like blacked out or whatever anymore, I'm still heated. Like I'm still, like we were just fighting 2 minutes ago, so I'm not calmed down yet.
And I hear you still talking trash outside. No, let's go.
Right. So I want to ask you. I want to broaden this out a little bit. So Shauna, let me ask you. What would cause you to fight someone, or would that ever be a thing for you?
I mean, at this point, I'm too old and I have too much to lose. So no, I mean, that was my only thing. Like, wow, y'all still out there fighting. So words won't necessarily do it for me, but if you're like in my face, like I'm gonna show you a hood rat. Like, no. Yeah, don't get in my face. Don't get close where I feel like you could at any time. No.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And I feel like, I don't know. I feel like Brandon and Marcus would probably agree. I agree. I
Yeah,
don't. How do
personal
y'all feel?
space is big. Like,
Yeah.
but
Because
I
of
have
that.
to say that was that like last week, a couple weeks ago. I don't do the hands. Like, all they can't be
Mhm.
up here. Like, we can talk with our hands at a
Mhm.
nice even. But when you lift them, where are they going?
Because I feel threatened, and
Okay.
So what about you, Marcus? What would cause? Would that would be the same thing for you,
Oh
or
yeah,
would it
yeah.
be anything else? Or
Hmm. No, I don't think I can't think of anything that somebody could say that would just like immediately take me to 100.
mm,
But if I feel like if I feel like you're getting to the point where you want to fight me, then I'm definitely going to give you what you want.
okay, I hear you. I think for me, I think I would have to be in like self-defense mode. I don't. I don't see myself like, ready to just hit somebody based on anything they said, getting all in my face. I'm like, you're testing the waters there, but I still don't see myself going there. Um, yeah. So, but I what like have any of you ever been in a physical altercation? I'll take that as a yes.
Yikes.
So, so who wants to go first, and who wants to talk about that? What's the last fight you've been in?
We're trying to move forward in our
Exactly.
lives.
We are
It's a lot
grown. We are
going
trying to
on.
live our best lives.
Mm-hmm.
All
That was
right,
then. This
so
is now.
I
Like,
got you. Okay, so mom's the word
Very
on that. All right. All right. It's so funny when I stun the panelists here, but it's all right. We are going to move on
the
to
court records are sealed. Okay.
yes.
Like,
We are going to move on to I guess verbal altercations. So we have this fight between uh, Lisa Raye and her sister, Brat. So let me just break this down for y'all. Fox Soul has a show that's very similar to this one called Cocktails with Queens. The panelists include famous Black women Vivica Fox, Claudia Jordan, Selena Johnson, and Lisa Raye. During a show, the ladies tried to surprise Lisa Raye for her birthday by bringing on her sister, Brat. That's when it went off the rails. Lisa Raye and Brat's relationship was strained, and they hadn't talked in months. Lisa was upset that she had to find out about her sister's queer sexuality and new relationship online, while Brat said that her journey was very personal and didn't feel comfortable bringing it to Lisa because of her tough exterior. So you all saw the segment, correct?
mhm.
Okay. So what did you think of Lisa Raye's reaction? Anybody can jump in. Let's
It
just
was
go
I'm
for it.
real.
What'd you say, Shauna?
It was real. That was a
What?
big sister. That was real.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
What are you thinking,
wanna
Brandon?
I wanna slightly play devil's advocate just a bit because I wasn't certain if she was uncomfortable. She was angry because she didn't know about this relationship, or if she didn't know about sexuality in general. Because I think that everybody's kind of known. Because I think she even said something like, "We've had these kind of discussions before about you coming out being honest or whatever."
Mhm.
So I think it was just this relationship is what I got from it that she was so upset about.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, like what
That
I
she
got
was
from it.
officially out. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought maybe she hadn't come out, and maybe she had come out online and for the public, but there was no conversation. I didn't get that it
Yeah.
was a specific. I don't know. I mean, that
Yeah.
was just my
Well, I
perspective.
mean, well, the way she came out was, I think, like her girlfriend bought her a birthday gift or something, and so that she posted, she's like, "This is the love of my life, thank you," something like that. So that's how she
Yeah.
officially came out a
Okay.
couple months
Okay.
ago.
Yeah. The way that Lisa Ray reacted, and the way from what Brat said, made it seem like maybe not necessarily that she did, because she knew, like she said, they had the conversations, but I don't even want to say that it was just necessarily this relationship. I I'm thinking that Lisa Ray has had a lot to say about a lot of the Brat's relationships, and with this one in particular, Brat was like, you know what, I'm not even going to do this because I don't feel like going down this road with you.
Oh,
That was kind of what I
I
got
didn't
from it.
think about that.
It makes sense too. I mean, that's the big sister things. I can definitely see that.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. So okay, so I guess that kind of changes my next question, which was should Brat have come out to her sister first before making it public? But I guess if we're thinking about it more broadly, should she have talked to her sister? Period. And I'm guessing you guys are.
Should is an interesting word because she
There we
should
go.
do whatever she wants. And
Ah,
if she
shut up.
didn't feel if she didn't feel comfortable, then so I'm kind of on the Brat, like I'm an open book, but I can be private. Like there are certain things I just want to keep to myself, but if someone asks me, I'll tell.
Mhm.
So, if she didn't feel comfortable like letting her know yet and she just wanted to enjoy her relationship for a little bit, then do that. I mean, I'm sorry we had to see that unfold on,
Mhm.
in front of everyone, but you do what's good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, my thing again, going like I said with the last thing, like how people react to things tells me a lot about how they have reacted in prior. Brat said that she when she first started talking, she was saying that Lisa Raye has always been big sister. She's always been like basically treating her like a child, and you know older sibling or whatever, eventually you get tired of that. Like you get tired of somebody baby you being like, no, they're not good enough for you, blase, blase, blase. Like, don't nobody want to deal with that in their big grown age. So I get Brat and being like, I didn't want to come to you, basically ask for your permission. Because even Lisa Raye, she was like, I didn't get to ask her nothing, to get to see who she was or anything like that. It was like, this ain't your wife.
No, that makes sense completely.
Now I have like a mixed feeling about this because I just don't know what Debrat's goal was knowingly coming on a show and having not spoken to her in months. So
Now,
I
go ahead.
I I think maybe she was hoping she wouldn't act out in front of folks while I was streaming. But I think the other women they said that maybe she was like, okay, well, we're here. You'll at least kind of, and I think not even with honestly, not even them being like they're like, even if they were all in the same room, the five women, I think the fact that we're live and we're streaming, that you might have just a little bit more act right tonight. Lisa Ray was like, nah, fuck that shit. Like this is cute,
Literally.
but I ain't heard from you in 6 months. Like you wouldn't have told me
Like,
happy birthday if you wasn't here, would you? I was like,
and for me, I feel like that's what Brett fucked up, because she said that she knew her sister, so she should have known better than that. Like that's just that just wasn't smart, sis. I know what you was trying to do, but nah.
right. I don't know. It just seems a little bit manipulative to me. It's like
of
you're trying to force
Brat.
me of Debrat
okay.
to force, like if I'm in Lisa Ray's shoes, now you're forcing me to have decorum on a TV show where I normally may not, or so you're forcing me to be in a different kind of. So I don't know. That's just me. I would.
No, I get
No.
that completely.
Yeah.
I get that, yeah.
I mean, you're right, because when I looked at it at first, I was just like, even before I watched the whole thing, at first I was just like, nah, Lisa Ray's on some bullshit. Like, this is some other stuff. But when I sat back and thought about it, I was like, she did kind of try to play that situation a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Though I guess I'm kind of on a mixed thing too, because I understand that Brett kind of manipulated the situation a little bit, but at the same time, I just can't help but feel like Lisa Raye, you had to have given her some type of energy that made her feel like she didn't want to open this up to you in the first place. Like you ain't completely guilt free in this either. There's a reason why she didn't tell you. There's a reason.
Mm-hmm. So I'm like, have you guys ever had situations like this with family, or has anybody like, have you come out to family, or have they had to learn through other means, or felt upset by the way you came out or something like that?
Like, I need more liquor.
Okay.
Who I need more liquor.
That's a whole episode in itself.
It really honestly is.
I mean, okay, so let me ask without going too deep, because I know you're not trying to throw family under the bus, right? But I'm just curious, like, what was the general thing around that for y'all?
There
If that
wasn't
was the case.
excitement. There wasn't happiness. There wasn't support.
It was
Oh,
a mess, a hot ass mess.
To put
Shauna,
it lightly.
I want
Kind
to
of
hear for sure.
on the reverse, I feel like I've been the Lisa Ray in a way. Like I've had friends who weren't comfortable telling me that they were bisexual because in the past I've had a lot of things to say but at the same time I've grown past that. And so, I would have hoped that they had felt comfortable like talking to me because you evolve, like you don't know
Mhm.
everything. But I still understood why they didn't feel comfortable telling me. I was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
see, and that's the type of clarity that I don't think that Lisa Ray had, because she would like it was like 2 weeks ago. She was just in the news for talking shit about bisexual men. Like
Mhm.
this was just a week or two ago.
Hmm.
So it's not surprising to me that Brat would have been like, I'm not going to bring you my relationship, whether it's her coming out in general or the
Mhm.
particular relationship that she's in. It's not surprising to me that she didn't feel comfortable with Lisa Ray. And I really wish, honestly, one of them other women had checked her on that.
mm,
I think they were trying to stay out of it because it was family, which I think is also interesting too, because like they're still sisters. So it's like you don't want to get too hard on one side or the other because then it's like, well, now you in family business, even though y'all arguing in front of us, but
Exactly. Because I'm like, yes, this is family business, but right now it's family is in front of the whole world. And you also have just cussed me out. So now I'm in the family.
that part.
oh man. Okay, so yeah, they kind of went in on each other. But
Well,
now
no,
that we're
but I do appreciate the Brat though. She stayed very calm, very like, I don't even do this with you here.
Right.
So
Because it'd
yeah,
have been a whole other situation.
yeah, for sure, and I can completely understand uh Brad's like hesitance because Lisa Ray is
mm,
very like raw, she can go there and um I don't think that makes her a bad person, but I just think, her personality sometimes not everybody's gonna go for that. So but we can move into our next topic because we're talking about um Niecy Nash and Jessica Betts. So there's this new rumor that's floating
child.
around. So let me bring this up for y'all. A new article on blog Love B. Scott shows an alleged text from someone close to Niecy Nash and Jessica Betts that reads, quote, "So I heard Niecy Nash and her wife are having issues. Apparently Niecy's family isn't happy with their marriage. Plus her wife wants to be more out in public with their marriage and more advocating gay rights. And Niecy doesn't want that." So let's start with Marcus on this one. What do you think about this rumor?
So I'm gonna treat this as this is true. If it come out of this false after we get done, that's a whole nother story. But if this is true,
No, we're here for brunch, so everything's true. Everything's true until after brunch.
Listen,
Right.
yeah, I need Nisha to get her life together. Because on the one hand, like this is a really a similar thing. Like you can't let your family dictate your happy. You sitting here, you withdrawing yourself from what your wife wants to do, what you should be doing. I mean, one, just because it's right, and two, I mean, let's be honest, sis. The gays is keeping your career. So you withdraw and try not to be like, I'm gonna say withdraw and try not to be out open and supportive. That's not a good look. And you not doing this is also going to end up blowing back on your marriage. And I'm not gonna go too deep, but you just got married, sis. Like, come on, let's not
And
do
you
too
just
much.
got divorced, if we tell them the
And
full
you really
truth.
did. You really
There's
did.
a
You,
lot
you want
going
to go
on
through this
there.
cycle again?
Let's not. Shauna, what are your thoughts on this one?
So coming from the lesbian delegation,
Okay.
I
Come on from delegation.
so first when they got together, not that I was upset, but it's like we have very few prospects for like stand-up studs. And it seems that they always go for the straight women. So, that didn't surprise me too much, but the problems, like, they don't surprise me even more. So, I don't know, like, that's what this is about. Like, women are emotional and all of that, and maybe Niecy doesn't know what she signed up for, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm I don't know if it's devil's advocate again or not, but I'm just wondering though if like, because Niecy's been married twice to men before. Like her three kids are from her first husband, and she was just married to her last husband for almost 10 years or whatever. So I'm wondering though, this is her first situation with a woman, and she's also though is a public figure as well. So it's
Mhm.
like I didn't have to be this public or this advocating for anything but these previous relationships, but now all of a sudden because you're a woman now that I have to, so I can get why she might not want to, but at the same time, though, it's like, but you made this big public announcement that y'all were
Exactly.
married. So
So you kind of had to
even if
know
that,
that there was,
right, even if that was your logic, you opened this door because
because
you
we
never tell
wouldn't
us you
have
got
known.
married. No,
Mhm.
because nobody know her wife.
But let's be
That's no
I
honest.
didn't know
disrespect.
her,
That's,
but she
no
apparently
disrespect.
she's famous. I don't know.
We didn't know her.
So
Mm-mm.
I'm curious about what you said, Shauna, because you said that there's a lack of visibility for you said for stand-up studs. Could you explain that a little bit more?
Yes, we have, I don't know, like we have our own issues on this side, and like everything like looks amazing, and they want to come over here, and it's a lot of women are still growing and like working through their own issues. And like I said, you see one who Jessica, who's very stand up. They It seems like they never go for lesbians. They always kind of veer off
Got you.
into the straight world often.
Okay, okay, interesting. Um, I forgot what my next question was, but go ahead. Anybody else had
Yeah,
trying to say
no, I
something?
mean, I'm just thinking about that. Like that, I guess it's true what they say. Everybody got their own problems, and a lot of times they mirror each other because that's no different than a lot of the gays trying. I'm gonna say trying to catch up some they new straight man.
Mhm.
Trying to woo
Hmm.
the straight man over to their side just for a little while. And it's interesting when you think about it that way because really it kind of does put more importance, I would think, on them being open and being visible because you so rarely or so rarely have people together that can be a pretty much relationship goals.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Have
because I no, go ahead.
you know, continue your thought
Yeah,
because I was going to move into something else, but go ahead.
I was just thinking, like you said, of relationship goals, because I was like, you know how anytime a black gay man comes out as he's gay or whatever, celebrity, and we're like, okay, who's he gonna be with? Who's he gonna be with?
That's with
And
bated
then,
breath.
okay, we'd be like, and then he comes out with somebody who's not black, and we're like, oh, well, we should have
Hmm.
known. But then
Right.
I can even imagine though for lesbians, it's like, y'all, where is the representation even there? Like for the celebrity, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like,
No.
I'm sure the audience is like, okay, well, come on out and let us know and do whatever else. But she's like, no, I don't want to do that.
So that's funny because you also, when I because they were just talking about what's her name with the director. What's
Who
oh my
say?
gosh, the one who did The Shy, I think, and
Oh,
Oh,
Lena
you talking about
Waithe.
lean away?
yeah, and I believe that her first girlfriend or wife or whoever
They're married.
was,
Yeah, I think they're getting
Yeah.
but I
divorced.
think that she was straight, right? Or she
Who?
Her
was,
wife was straight. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
oh, I
yeah.
don't
So
know.
I mean, it's just it's interesting to see that that does kind of play out that way
And
sometimes. Sometimes.
yeah, I must say, and that also goes back to something that you said, Jarrod, about this being like these people's first forays, into the life, and it just becomes like, I think, I don't know, it's something that you really kind of have to take slowly, for lack of a better word, because
Hmm.
people, they say first relationship and you just automatically rushing into marriage, and a lot of these folks don't know what they get themselves into. Like, I can just, in my own life, I can think about people who I fooled around with, who maybe not been first but even just early on, and they're just
Still in their head
clueless.
so much. Yeah, or it's so much you
Mm.
don't know. Yeah.
Were any of them straight?
That's what they said. You know, that's what they said. I can only go by what they said.
I'm sure we've
That's,
all been with a straight person. I'm
have we?
sure.
Have we?
Who said they were straight? Who said they were straight?
Exactly. And all you can go by is what they said.
Yeah, that's
So
just
you think
me.
you have not?
I'm just being messy.
Hmm.
I had to throw a little something out there just to see, you know. But yeah, look, I've had my experiences.
Yeah.
It hasn't been very good. I prefer the gays
Listen,
personally.
a lot less stress.
They're more used to, everything that happens. So
Right. But see, this also brings up another question because we're talking about Niecy and Nash jumping into being not necessarily, I guess, not being a gay rights activist, but kind of being open about gay rights or kind of pushing that forward a little bit. Is that a necessity, do you think?
I think it's a conversation. For me, it just brought back like too many people, straight, gay, whatever, never talk before they get married. Like they don't talk about the important issues. And so it was like, here's another thing that they didn't talk about, like how open, how public, how all of that. So I can't say if it's necessary, but they should have talked beforehand and made sure they were on the same page about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely that. Like that is indicative of them. It goes back to what people thought in the first place, that they rushed into a relationship.
I'm people.
But to answer I answer the question, at least for me. For me, I think so. For me, it's that is something that's important. Because one, I ain't trying to have nothing really. And two, I think about myself when I was like younger, like not even knowing that, black gay folks existed for real, especially not folks in relationships. So for me in my relationships, that's important. But I think that's a personal conversation that people have to have with their partners and with themselves, as far as like, hey, does that matter to you? Because as for me in my house, yes.
Interesting. Brandon, what do you think?
I think it really is like they're saying it's a personal decision, because I think as the person growing up or as the audience member, consumer, whatever, you want that representation. You want to know there are celebrities who are out and who are loving and living and happy, and I'm saying, the whole "it gets better" thing. You want to really see that in real time. But I think though for the celebrities, it still doesn't matter. We're still in a homophobic society. It still is a homophobic industry we might be in. Like Niecy being a woman, it might not necessarily stop her career for real. But I think like for a gay man, that would definitely limit his roles, especially a black one. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, he can only play gay now. And it's like, well, before he was playing everything else, you know what I'm saying? But now we have to limit him to this. And so I think it is really a personal decision. Do you want to be, which I guess is the whole thing of like, I guess, do you want to be an activist or do you want to be successful in a sense? And it's like, which one is more important? And that's hard because like, this is your passion. Does that mean that you're wrong for being closeted, Yeah.
I think personally for me, if I were to get into a relationship, I don't know if I would make that a requirement. I think it would be important to be on the same page as far as what we think in terms of, and I don't think that would be very hard to get on the same page because if we're both in the community, then then hopefully we're fighting for each other's rights. But I mean, like, as far as making it a big thing, I don't know if Jessica. I haven't followed Jessica Betts on Instagram or anything, so I don't know how much of a thing she makes of it. Whether she's
but I think that's also a thing too. She might be this huge activist. Sorry, the advocate. It's like combining words. Sorry, but it's like, again, no disrespect to her, but how known is she? You know what I'm saying? Like this might be her thing that she does all day, every day. But it's like we don't know that because we don't see that because we don't know her.
Right.
Right.
Go ahead, Marcus.
No, I was actually going to ask. No, it wasn't nothing for me, honestly. I was gonna ask Shauna, how important is that for you, for your relationships to be like open to things?
It's very important that the person I'm with be open and out. Maybe not as big as I am, like that's fine. I'm very live out loud, but there's no shame here, so I'm never going to treat it that way. So it's important that like you're interested in like going to Pride and doing all of these things. Like that's a big deal to me.
Now I'm
So
curious. Oh no, go ahead. Just and this
go
for
ahead.
everybody. How
Mhm.
often do y'all? I mean, not how often. How early do you post someone? I guess publicly that you're with.
Early,
Yeah.
Early.
too early. I won't be doing that anymore.
How early is too early though?
A few months in.
Okay, like
Okay.
after a title or after knowing each other.
Is this like a southern like knowing each other? Is that what you mean, or is
Come
this
on, in the
like
No,
biblical
I'm saying I
sense.
meant since no since you've met each other since you've met each other. That's what I mean. Like
uh,
okay, anybody else?
what was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? That's and see this is an interesting thing because for me, a lot of the longer term relationships that I was in were before I was as open as I am now. So I've posted people, but it's always been kind of like subliminally a bit. I will say that that was maybe like a couple months or so, like not not too long into it or what have you.
Mhm.
I feel like if this happened now, in my current mindset, it probably would be early. I ain't gonna lie, it probably would be early.
yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Why the change?
The change in the time frame.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think it has a lot to do with. I think it has a lot to do with just my current mindset, where it's like what Shauna said, like no shame, like it is what it is,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes you just want to be showered with affection. Sometimes you just want to have that sort of like, oh, this is cute, I'm happy for you, like you just kind of want that feeling. And I think that in my life, at least with relationship wise, like I never had that, so that's something that I would like.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
And Brandon, I guessing would you feel similarly? Would you
No.
post your no, you're not posting your man all
But
over
I've never posted a
Instagram?
guy. No, no, it's gonna be a minute
Wow.
before he would get a post. No,
Do they
just
get
because I, huh?
do they get upset?
Um, I guess the one he might have felt away, but I mean, it's not my business. I'm not. But my thing is like for several reasons. I don't post a lot, like at least pictures in general.
Mhm.
So it's like if I post like for example, me posting a picture of you on Instagram, that's gonna stand out because it ain't but so many pictures there to begin with. Like so, people are going to see that. But also too, I think when you're single, you realize how many people are in relationships and they're doing crazy things. So it's like, let me not get embarrassed. But let me make sure this is good. This is solid. I don't want to post it too early that we break up next week. Like,
Yeah.
let's just be sure about this thing.
So what if it? Well, okay. Well, I guess I'll answer
Yeah,
for me
I was gonna
because I know you're gonna say Marcus.
say.
Marcus is on it. Yeah. For me, I don't know. I think I would have to wait until I had a title before I posted
That part for
anything
sure.
online.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't judge anybody that does post it. And I know a lot of people talk about that, and I'm curious what you guys think about like if it was flipped, if somebody else wanted to post you and them online constantly and do the
Have
whole
at it.
thing.
They
You
can
do
do
what you
it
do on your
too.
social media.
You can look dumb when you start acting up.
But
But
to
that's
be
facts though.
honest, yeah.
But that's facts.
I mean, that's fine.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I personally would not have a problem with that, but I know a lot of people do have a problem with that. So what do you
Mhm.
think about the people that do that, like, hey, don't ever post me, or I don't ever want to be, out there and online. Go ahead, Marcus. I see you wagging your finger. I know you
it's,
got
it's,
something.
it's, if I say it's not a flag, but red flag. That is
That
a
part.
red
Yeah,
flag.
I think if you never want to be posted, that's an issue. My thing is I just don't want you to be posted too early because I want us to be good. But I don't have an issue with posting at some point. I've just never gotten there. But
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, and I think that makes sense. You don't want to because we see it so many times with these Instagram couples. They post up
do.
they post up their relationships. They be like, "Oh, we're so happy, we're so in love," and 2 days later they're broken up. You know,
Part.
so people, I understand people wanting to like take that time to wait, but if you have someone who is like vehemently against being posted ever, that is a red flag. Walk away.
I agree.
Run.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel the same way. So now that we're talking about Instagram posts and couples and that kind of thing, I mean, I love how
Go on,
everything
segue.
is just flowing.
Right?
Everything
Did
is
we
just
just do
flowing
that?
into the next thing. I love it. Let's move into our next topic. So a few weeks ago, we talked about the controversy that arose following the revelation of Jeffree Star's new boyfriend, basketball player Andre Marhold. Well, things changed. The couple are now broken up, and Jeffree has alleged that Andre stole some of his stuff and he wants it back. In a Snapchat video, Jeffree said Andre secretly had no job, no money, and not even a bank account. And that soon after the breakup, he noticed luggage, backpacks, and sunglasses missing. So now there was a lot of talk about this online, but based on my research, based on what I've seen, Andre has not replied to anything. He hasn't said anything about the breakup or the allegations that he stole anything. And any posts you see where he responded are false.
Okay.
There are about, I looked online today, there are about 10 fake Instagram accounts with his name on it. And the only thing he said on his Instagram was that he'd spill the tea when his YouTube reaches 100,000 subscribers. There are about 3,800 subscribers on his YouTube now.
Because again, don't nobody know who he is. Like,
So yeah, I just thought it was funny, and he has no YouTube content up there either.
So who are you?
What are you saying, Shauna?
As far as responding, I did see something that the second like side page or whatever like threatened to expose Jeffree if he didn't pull the video down, and then Jeffree pulled the video down. So I'm wondering if that number 2 fake one is
The plot thickens.
I
or
mean,
maybe he just doesn't know. Maybe he doesn't know which one is fake. So maybe he's like, let me just take it down just in case.
yeah, I might say, and you know, even if it's not Buddy, I mean, let's not pretend like Jeffree Star ain't got dirt out there already. So it ain't even got to be Buddy. It could just be somebody that, hey, you want some fuck shit.
Yeah, because the fake pages were alleging that Jeffree essentially hired him to be his friend. They weren't ever together. You know what I'm saying? He was just trying to distract from the other craziness he had going on and try to rehab his image.
Which wouldn't surprise me.
I'm saying, so that seems plausible. I don't know.
Who knows? I just know that all the fake posts added to the spiciness of this, and I know I was getting my life all on Twitter.
one word: reparations.
Let's
Nobody was mad. Yeah, nobody was mad at him. The stuff was true. They were like, "Get your bags, get your backpacks, like go."
I was like, look, if you're gonna dare the racist, at least get something out of it.
Right. I mean, I think they had shown. Some people thought that Andre had changed his post to change the captions on his posts and to say, you know, I just needed a bag or something like that. And it was just like, all right, y'all are wilding out here. So do you think Jeffree was finessed? Do you think he was scammed? What is your inclination here? Do you think that that's what happened? Do you think that he came in with no money, no job, and he just kind of took advantage of the situation?
I don't believe that part, but I believe he was finessed.
Okay. I see that. What are you guys thinking?
I mean, okay, so he's supposed to be a player, right? So you could easily Google that. Like, I don't think that's something he would be able to lie about. So yeah, I think I'm with Shauna. Like, I think he didn't lie about his job or like maybe how much money he had necessarily, but yeah, he might have played him a little bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I automatically think the worst of Starfish, and just think that he's the one doing the finessing. Like that whole, I hired you to be my friend so as I can say that I have a black friend, or even better, I have a black man. You know, that makes too much sense to me. for me to be like, oh no, it's actually all the way around.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the truth lies somewhere in between, like you guys are saying. Like, it's very easy to see what Andre does. So we know that he's not, at least based on what overseas basketball players get, is like, from what I remember, it was like 20,000 a month, something like that. So he ain't broke. But I mean, maybe he used it. Maybe he used it for fame. Maybe he used it to boost his own.
Maybe it's the child support from that girlfriend that was crying. I don't know.
I'm for to bring her up. I was like, y'all, what y'all think she feel now?
I don't know. She probably calling up Jeffree and trying to, trying to feel
trying to get her home back together.
Some sympathy,
That's not funny, but it is.
It's messy. But have you ever been scammed by a person you were dating or in a relationship with?
Scammed how? Because niggas lie now. Look.
I mean, if that's the case, then yes.
Okay, but... now I've never, been robbed. Lied to. I've been there. Okay.
Yeah, you have to clarify scammed.
Well, I guess, if they've ever taken anything, like I've heard stories of guys coming in and taking checks and stuff and doing that whole thing, and it's just like, it's been great, or like pretending like they're in love with you, but then using you for your money, or just kind of like, I've even, like, in my experience, I've at least have had one guy who tried to live with me, like, after one date, because he came back.
Not a homosexual child.
A homosexual.
Yes.
Oh no.
And he was like,
one date.
Yeah, like he came, saw my place.
I'm being nosy.
Huh?
Did y'all have sex? I gotta be nosy.
We might do a little something.
The answer is yes. So
you put it on him. He started the place.
He was like,
said, "Let me sleep."
So the thing was,
Jerry gave them, put him on, make him want to marry me.
Okay.
Well, see, the thing was, it's like, I was living in a house, and I was upstairs, and he knew that I had this basement apartment for rent, and he wanted to live in the basement apartment, but he didn't want to pay rent, and I was like,
"Pay you another way."
No, he was not. It wasn't that good. Now, come on, not for me to give up. Not for me to give up some pay there, but yeah, if y'all have never had that kind of thing happen to y'all.
Mm-mm.
No.
Okay, well, I'm alone in that.
It's okay, stay strong in your aloneness.
Well,
right.
In what ways have they, like, let's lower the bar a little bit, because I know, Brandon, you said you've been lied to a couple times or something like that. So what is that situation been?
I think when you first meet people, and I can be guilty of this to an extent too, of like, you present a certain image of who you maybe want to be, or who you think will be most appealing or whatever to the other person. So I think it's that level of like, okay, this is who you presented, but then you slowly realize, like, okay, this is who you really are.
Got you. Shauna, have you ever dealt with that?
Well, I dated in Atlanta. And
so the answer is yes.
I've learned so much from Atlanta. I feel like it's made me smarter, but they are on it in Atlanta. So.
Okay, I got you. And Marcus, can you end the show with any Brandon is having a fit. That's hilarious.
He's joked.
Lord.
But Marcus, what about you?
I've been catfished before. To the point where, like, if I didn't have friends like who knew people, probably would set me up for failure. Because yikes.
Okay.
But that's probably the only thing outside of just like normal, like what Brandon said, like, oh, I'm presenting that I'm going to be this type of person, and you are far from that, when we actually start fooling around or what have you. But yeah, the catfishing is the closest thing to, I guess, being scammed.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, I can remember I was talking with some guy who was all the way in, I don't know, Alabama or something. I don't know. We were talking online. It wasn't a thing. And it was just funny because we video chat and everything. So I knew he was who he said he was. But then it got down to the point where it's like, okay, so when are we going to meet? Am I going to come out there, or are we going to meet somewhere in between or something like that? And it just kind of slowly became this back wall thing. And I was just like, all right, dude, like, forget it. But I am so glad that didn't happen, because he was a Trump supporter. And so
dodge that bullet.
Okay, my goodness.
But see, this was when Trump was first running. This was like primaries, and this was when it was like, okay,
know better.
Okay, I know, but I'm saying, okay, so my rationale for not dropping him immediately was like, okay, so you might be on the Republican side, and this might be naive, I don't know, but you're on the Republican side. We can keep politics separate. I did not know Trump was going to be Trump. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know he was going to be all that he is now. So let me just put that out there.
Is killing me.
Let me just put that out there.
Mean, nobody could see the future. Fair.
So we have a comment here. Connected is hearing you, Shauna. He said, I heard Atlanta and immediately saw red flags. Oh man. So
okay, but let me clarify though. Is it the natives of Atlanta or the transplants of Atlanta that are bad? Is there a difference?
Well,
I've heard there's a
so
difference. I've heard there's a difference.
Shauna, can you hear us?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Brandon was asking, was it the what'd you say?
The natives of Atlanta, or is it the transplants of Atlanta that are bad?
There aren't really any natives. I'd say all of them from the South, though. Yeah, I don't.
Not all.
Oh no!
Because they all come to Atlanta and
clear it. Lord have mercy. Jesus.
Your cars getting repoed and too much.
All right, I'm fine. Well, let me claim the Midwest today.
Listen, let me move up a couple states.
Man, I need to have the Atlanta experience because I have never been out there. And
it's worse.
Really?
Yeah, no, I've never been out there.
Oh, you would love it.
And the Multiverse Con would actually be the first time that I was out there. And so I was kind of looking forward to that. But of course, everything happened. So we're
next year. Don't worry. We're gonna get you down.
Yes, most deaf.
Oh, definitely. And we'll probably do like a little Boys and Brunch in the flesh.
Come on, live
okay, so I would love it. But we are running out of time. So, Shauna, can you please let the audience know where to find you and where to find Take Care Travel if they want to if you would like to take care of any of their travel needs?
Or on Facebook, you can look it up by Take Care Travel or by @ShaunaTCT, and the same thing on Instagram.
Okay, fantastic. So if you enjoyed our conversation and want to see more, it's absolutely necessary that you let us know, whether that's a bunch of hearts on the live stream, a like and a subscribe on YouTube, a comment or a share. And even to our podcast listeners, I'm throwing this in here now. Please rate and review the podcast as well. So we would like to get that out there. So let's grab a glass, everyone. And yes, I did one of my stealthy refills this time.
I was trying to watch to see because I saw when you drank it all, but I didn't see when it got filled back.
We only got a little bit left, Sean. Well, look, I'm on refill, so you have nothing to be ashamed of. So until next time, be careful what you say because the boys will brunch. Take care.